the torque. I'm climbing this hill at 20 miles an hour in fourth gear. Stuck him down pretty good, but this thing just got hooked, man. Stuff lasts. I'd rather have this than a brand new Cadillac. If I had a Cadillac, I'd probably cut the top off. Looking at some old videos I did on this back in 2009, and at that time, I don't know if that's the last time it ran, but at that time I seemed to have figured out this thing had a positrack in it. When I had it jacked up the other night in there so I could get under it to bleed the brakes, my findings, or my belief, compound low. So those old gears whine. Well, I guess we're going to call this a success. I'm happy with it. Y'all happy with it? Wish the seat would go back a little further. Not a whole lot of room. What it is. And I love what it is. Pressure light. I want to put a couple of gauges on it. Probably got some there in the shop. $84,873 miles. And you know that's at least 184. But the speedometer works. That's pretty amazing. The fuel gauge does not work. Check the ground on that. Just hangs behind the seat on this thing. I don't know. Seems like about 95% of the time, if I've got an electrical issue, lots of times it winds up being the ground, bad ground. Let's see if our emergency brake holds. Yep. By golly, I'm gonna run get the bills, and I'll take you guys on up to the house. Wish I could get this thing to idle down a little better. So far I've not been able to. Something a little different about that carb. Kind of made one out of two. Seems like the idle setup is a little bit different. about to get my fancy little signal lights working here. That don't work. Did it one time, so I'll make it work again. Out there in the boneyard, kind of had my doubts that it would ever run this good again. I knew that it did, you know, when I got it. It just ran like a charm. These folks I got it from said they live in Yakima, and they said, the guy said they drove it to Seattle with a load of scrap iron, and they pulled in over there, and the guys working the scrap yard said, no way you drove that thing from Yakima. I don't know how far it is, about 150 miles one way. He said, yeah, we sure did. Well, I wasn't real sure I believed that either until I drove it, and I do believe that they drove it that kind of distance, because it runs out real good, it drives good. Bought this thing about seven years ago, I guess, and I paid $300 for it. My thought was to take this trailer and make this utility box and make a grafting trailer out of it, and do my project with the front part. Well, we'll see. I kind of like the whole thing just like it is. It'd be fun to drive it around in the summertime. Now, I gotta work on that idle. See if I can get her down there. Thanks for watching. Well, I got that pulley cleaned up and found some marks on there. I don't know if this is in focus for you or not, but what it says, well, there's a 1 and a 10, and I'm shooting for a 5. So they've got that mark, but this right above the 1, it says UBC. And I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't need to know. I know where the mark is, but I'm just curious. So one of you smart guys out there, one of you mechanics, tell me what that means, UBC. I would, you know, I just think of top dead center, 5 degrees before B, before top dead center. So before center, maybe, I don't know what the U. I've got the timing set, 5 degrees. And I'm going to hook the vacuum advance back up and check my brakes. I think I still got a little air in the system. But I've got fuel tank spliced out, clean fuel inner, new punch, rotor cap, wires, plugs. We're about ready to take her for a drive.